All right. Today I am here with Hailey Jules, and she has pioneered the peak performance coaching program. She is a coach to chiropractic assistants and chiropractic teams, and she empowers them to take on the chiropractic mission as their own. And she really empowers the team to grow your practice without you having to do it all yourself. And that's the beauty of what Hailey does. She's an entrepreneur and motivational speaker, as well as a peak performance coach, NLP practitioner, and founder of the Inspired Chiropractic Solutions. She's called upon to consult and coach with some of the world's finest chiropractic teams, and she's known for inspiring and enabling teams to transform their lives and the practices while consistently meeting and exceeding the practice goals. So she's highly sought after as a speaker. She's made numerous appearances each year on chiropractic stages, and she has a passion and desire to see a world where chiropractic is something that every individual has the opportunity to experience so they can achieve their highest level of fulfillment. And that's ultimately what drives her to be involved in the transformation of healthcare with chiropractic. So, Hailey, welcome to the show here. So glad to
Thank
have you
you
on.
so much, Damien. What an intro. Thank you. It's really an honor and a privilege to be here. Thanks for
Yeah,
having
I'm super excited. I kind of wanted to pick your brain to start with here, just from the perspective of what like we do at Contente and with the doctors who are using services, and it doesn't even have to be Contente, just anyone who's advertising online, going that route to bring in patients who might not be referrals, might not be um, completely familiar with the practice or have like they really don't know, right? Like what the practice
Sure.
is all about. So, from the team perspective, going from a cold, like completely unaware of like what chiropractic even is and what like it really is, all the way into patients that are going to convert into long-term care. So that's kind of the topic that I wanted to cover. Does that sound good with you?
Absolutely. Yes. I love
Awesome,
this
awesome.
topic. Yeah.
Cool. Great. Get more people under chiropractic, right? That's the goal.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that you use the term cold, like a cold patient, because that's exactly what I was thinking in my head. And the real power, I think, of what I've seen you do for chiropractors is just drive massive traffic in the door where they can have the finger on the pulse of how many new patients they want to come in. And to have that like golden platter opportunity is huge, to be able to know that you can grow your practice at any level is really massive. So really what I can help do is help maintain those patients and help, as you said, convert them, into patients that stay, pay, refer, all of that. Because there was obviously something in your ad that compelled them enough to come into the office. And that's really all we need, like a well-trained team, great communication. As long as they come in, we can take it from there to turn them into a wellness patient that stays for life. But the key to this is really being super intentional with your communication from the get go, from the moment they walk in, even before that, when they discover your ad. Just for context for me, Damien, how would this work for somebody? What's the call to action in the ad? Do they call into the office? Do they book online? Or how do they get from the ad to becoming a new patient? And then I can kind of pick up
Yeah,
from there.
yeah, definitely. So they would be scrolling through social media. Obviously, they're not going to be only looking at social media or like completely not distracted. It's 2022, almost 2023. So I think everyone's distracted these days. So they're going to be scrolling through social media, whether it be like in line at the grocery store while watching their kids play soccer, what have you. And at that point, they're gonna see the ad. Obviously, they're gonna stop, and something is going to trigger that, whether that be pain. A lot of it is pain, to be frank, because that's really what's going to get people to stop and actually take action. So at that point, they're going to submit their information and select a time that they would like to come into the office. And then at that point, I think what the best place to start is for the chiropractic teams that we work with is that first phone call where they have really only submitted their information and put in a preferred appointment time. So do you have any insights or things that should be covered for chiropractic assistants and even potentially chiropractors if it's only them working at the office? But do you have any insights on what should be covered and how that first phone call should go?
Absolutely, 100%. I'm glad you asked this question. So you said something really cool, that a lot of time they come in because of pain. And, Tony Robbins says pain ignites change, pleasure makes it permanent. And I love that. So that's the perfect time for them to come in when they are in pain. And then we're going to create a pleasure environment to help them choose this for life. So it really does start with that first phone call and the way that it's framed. So the first thing is just to align with them and where they're at. Any information you have whatsoever, if they came in or you can see they came in from an ad that's about low back pain or sciatica, you're going to want to start with that. We're so excited that you found us and are coming in. This is Hailey from Wellness Choice, introduce yourself and, let them know I see that you found us, because of a back pain ad. I want to let you know that's something we help people with all the time here. So hopefully we can help you too. So being very certain and confident in the care that you provide and giving them certainty that they have found the right place. You're not guaranteeing results, of course, because they need to meet with the doctor and get examined. But just help them know they found the right place, you found the right spot. Let's go ahead and get you scheduled, and just always leading the conversation back to getting them scheduled and getting them in is going to be really important. And then I have found when they do come in from online, it's more important to confirm the appointment. So one little thing that makes a big difference at the end of the call is just confirm the time and day. Okay, we have you down at 4:00 sharp tomorrow, have anything confirmed if they're going to fill out paperwork, all of those little details. But the main focus is you found the right place, you called the right place. We've helped so many people with this, and just giving them that absolute certainty. They're about to, take time out of their day to come in, people's most valuable assets, and the things that they have the most objections about and need the most certainty are their time and money. And they're going to be spending both here in the practice. So giving them a lot of certainty in that call is going to be really important.
I love that. I want to kind of double click on what you said, where like giving them the certainty that they're in the right place, right? Where
Yes.
a lot of times they will have clicked on the ad and they don't know whether like this is like the place for them, right? So I think something that I've heard is you've said before is to like complement the referral source, right? Where
Yes.
and it's like the referral source doesn't have to be a person, right? It could be, oh, we get a lot of people from Facebook, right? Or we get a lot of
Totally.
people
Yeah, we have
from
patients that come in from Facebook all the time. They've gotten extraordinary results. So hopefully we can help you too. Like complementing that referral source is going to be huge. So they know like this is normal. It's legit too, right? Online. Sometimes people are like, is
Right,
this real?
right.
And you could also throw in like, you didn't just call any chiropractic office. You called the best office, or the 5-star office, or the office with the doctor that is, and then you touch on what they specialize in or what they're certified in. Our doctor trains other chiropractors. Any sort of compliment for the doctor and a compliment for the referral source should be included in every single new patient interaction.
Awesome. Yeah. And I had one more question regarding the that phone call. So you mentioned to confirm the appointment time, and that's like great, especially with these cold traffic leads to actually like know that like when they're supposed to be there, which is awesome. Do you have anything else that like whether it be like accepting prepayment over the phone, or like kind of pre-screening to ensure that people are going to come in, actually come in and not no show, because I think that's something that some docs do struggle with is
Yes.
people not being able to build that rapport off the bat, or like get that commitment. So do you have any suggestions there?
Definitely. I mean, the most powerful thing is going to be like actually getting them on the phone and the real person interaction, because it's just human nature that we have more accountability and commitment with a real live interaction. I mean, even me who does this, my chiropractor will text me appointment reminders, and it's so much easier to change the time and day via text than to actually call in, or cancel things like that. And like, this is my area too. So I can't imagine with other people. So getting them on the phone, even if you have to call a lot of times, leaving them messages. If you're the CA and you're calling, let them know, our doctor is going to set aside, or we're setting aside 30 minutes of the doctor's time outside of patient hours to sit down and meet with you. So making sure that they know this isn't just like a walk-in situation, you're actually reserving the doctor's time. So that little one-liner, putting that in there, is very helpful as well. Also, I think a big limiting belief that a lot of teams have in chiropractic is this almost like prejudgment of patients based off of where they've come from. Like, oh, well, it's an ad patient, so they're not like as serious as a referral patient. They're all people and they all need chiropractic. So if you're really grounded in the power of the care that you provide, it doesn't matter where they're coming from. They are a quality patient. They're a human. They have a spine. Like, they are a quality patient. Like, very, very, very worst case, if you don't specialize in what they need, or vice versa, you send them to another chiropractor. But running under the strong conviction that everybody deserves chiropractic, everybody needs this. There's a reason why they called you. They went through a lot to get to that moment, of clicking on the ad, everything that had to happen in their life to lead up to the moment of them taking action, just to click. The hundreds of times they had to see stuff about back pain to get to that moment. So the decision is already made. It's not a matter of if they're going to come in, it's a matter of how. I had a long time ago, when I first started in chiropractic, a conversation with Dr. Billy DeMoss. And we were talking about the new patient phone call. And he said, by the time they've called, by the time they found you, they've already decided to see a chiropractor. Like, what's the problem with scheduling? Like, what's the problem here? I'm like, that's a really good point. Like, they've already decided to get some help. Our job is just helping assist them on the how, not the what. Like, the decision's already made. And so I think that that's really important to come across, with that level of confidence too in the call is going to make a huge difference, or in your email, whatever confirmation system that you have. Yeah, you could do a payment over the phone. A lot of offices do that and are really successful in that. But what's going to be more powerful is them knowing that, like, they found the right place. This place can help them. And yeah, it's just a game changer from there. Tell them, like, just be honest, be transparent. We've helped so many people in the community have completely transformed their lives. And when they come in and you tour them through the office, people, they come in for back pain, they stay for wellness care. As a result of their care here, they live better quality of life. We see patients all the time not only get out of pain, but stay out of pain, feel more energy throughout the day. For that reason, we've got this lifetime members wall. Our patients want to stay for life to continue receiving the benefits of care. So before they even meet the doctor, if a team member has really done their job, they've already chosen that they want to be a wellness patient. They not only want to get seen, they want to stay under care and live a better life. I mean, who doesn't want that? Chiropractic adds, what's the old quote? Chiropractic adds years to your life and life to your years.
I love that. I love that. And I love how you said it's more even about the conviction behind it, and just like having that, like, more than just the script and like the here's what you say, but this is like how you say it, because you're so convinced and bought into like what chiropractic is. So I think that was a great segue too, to go from that new patient phone call to coming into the practice, and I know you mentioned the wellness wall. You mentioned how the chiropractic assistants are even like starting to sell the patients who come in on wellness care right from the get-go. Um, do you have, let's hit it from two sides if that's okay. How do you instill that conviction in your team if you're a
Uh-huh.
chiropractor? And then what are like the actual details of like, here is what we should, how we should go about, you know, that first, when they first step into the office, and what should we communicate to them, and what are like those check marks that we want to hit? Um, do you have?
Yes, yes. Okay, so for instilling it into your team, there's three main things that I would do. The first one, it's funny that you bring this up because I was just interviewed about hiring teams and how to hire great team members. And we went over this. So the first thing is live it yourself, set the example of what chiropractic is. So even a brand new team member, even someone that knows nothing about chiropractic, can clearly see and experience just from being in proximity with you as the chiropractor, the power of chiropractic. So you're living it yourself, you're setting the example. The second point is, like, when I train a team, everything I train them on is framed in creating patients that stay, pay, refer. Like, everything is. I recently heard that little term and I thought about it. I'm like, everything I do is framed under that umbrella, you know? So keeping that in mind. And then when you're training your team or having really any interactions with them, I would recommend always to instill confidence, instill conviction, and also philosophy of chiropractic. I would recommend always starting with the why, then the what. So whatever you're training on them on, share with them the why behind it, like why we do it this way. So if I'm going to train on the phone call, for instance, I'm going to say, when people come in on a call, or when you call people from this ad, these people are about to make a decision that's going to change their life forever and many generations to come. Their body's in a state of disease and they're about to go into a state of health. For that reason, every single person that comes in deserves to get healthy and deserves to come in, and they're going to schedule with us. Here's how you do it. So
Right.
see the difference. You're, as Roberto Monaco would say, setting the frame to win the game, and you do that in your training with the why first, then the what. And then the second part of your question, as far as what are the key things that we need to address in the tour to really prepare the patient for the doctor? So the key things I would address, like wellness. So you can have your wellness wall with lifetime patients. I would address that. The greeting is really important, that you greet them with their name, walk around the front desk, shake their hands, let them know you've been expecting them. I would address that your office is different and unique compared to other chiropractic offices. I would always highlight and compliment your doctor or doctors based on what you specialize in, or what you appreciate about them. What's unique about Dr. Nona is she genuinely cares about what's best for each patient. So just literally think of, like, what's your favorite thing about your doctor? And also, what do they specialize in? What makes them unique and different, or your practice unique? And I'm going to touch on those. The last thing that's really important is to, at some point, communicate and touch on the posture organ relationship. So I like to do this at the adjustment table. I'll show them, like, some teams will say, this is where the magic happens, or this is where the healing happens. This is the adjustment table. And then I'd let them know the types of adjustments we offer here. They facilitate proper nerve flow from your brain to all the organs of your body. Better posture means better overall health. So any little places you can put that in, like the posture organ relationship. So by the time they get to my doctor, I would love for them to know that chiropractic is not just about back pain. I'd love for them to know that the back pain is showing that your body is completely in a crisis and that there is restricted nerve flow to vital organs at that level. So you're just teaching this throughout, and then just keeping in mind in all of this, although you have your amazing system, you have your script, you have your tour, you're educating, the main purpose of the tour, like the takeaway for them, is not going to be what you said, it's going to be how they felt during the tour. So they're not really going to remember necessarily the words, but they'll remember that they felt like I'm in the right place. This place is different. This part, they're so vibrant, they're so healthy here. I want to be part of this. So just keeping that in mind, presenting and being the billboard of chiropractic yourself in the tour. That was a
Yeah,
loaded
I love
answer.
that. Yeah, I mean, I'm still processing because that was full full gold there. Um,
Thank you.
so you went from kind of the how to instill chiropractic and that confidence inside your team. And there's the three steps. Let's just go back and
Yes.
review here real quick. Let's see if I can get them.
Okay.
That's first is it's to live it yourself, right? You
Yes.
have to, the chiropractor has to be the one who's leading the team and actually living it themselves. Then we have to explain why, not the how. I think that was number three.
Why first, then the how?
The
Yeah.
why first and then the how. And then could you, what was the third one?
Oh, sure. Just thinking about, in your patient communication, making sure that you're putting in there really how you're going to create patients that do stay, pay, and refer. You know,
Right.
so little ways to do this, for instance, would be like, we're a family practice. Once people find us and experience a better quality of life, they want that for everybody that they know and love. For that reason, we have lots of families in here. People refer, you're probably already thinking of people that need this. So they haven't even seen the
Right.
doctor, but we're already
You're planting
pre-framing
that seed.
them to
Yeah.
refer. Yeah.
Right.
And they are. It's true. They're seeing the power of
Right.
what you do, and they're already ready to sign up their family before they've even had their appointment. It's really cool. We've
Yeah.
seen that a
They're
lot.
where they'll be like, oh, I got to get my husband in, or oh, I got to get my kids in before they even
Yes.
start. Right. That's like when they're most excited too, right? It's
Yeah.
the change.
I feel like that's like the real magic of what you do too. Like every one patient you bring in, there's going to be a ripple effect. So, like every one patient that comes in from Facebook, it's not just that one patient. It's going to
Right.
be everybody that they know, their family, their friends. So, it's really like there's this constant ongoing ripple for everybody that you help through your work. It's really cool.
Right. And yeah, just
Excuse
spreading
me.
chiropractic throughout the community. That's the goal. Um, so after that first kind of the day one, day two, are there any other things that the team should be thinking about, like while they're maybe going past day one, day two, or even on the second day? I'm not sure. I mean, how you delineate. I don't know. There's lots of ways we can do that initial consultation exam, the
Yes,
first kind of treatment.
definitely.
But yeah,
I
going
think
forward past that.
Yeah, I think that the way they close patients out at the end of day one is really important and really impactful. So, things for the team members to keep in mind is, we don't really know what happened in that room necessarily. They may have cried, it may have gotten emotional, they may have found out that they've got more going on than they thought. So, I really want to be respectful of their process. This is literally the only time up front that I'm not like bubbly and amazing, And so it's really like serious mode. And you're just kind of respecting the experience they had, letting the rock hit the bottom at this point at the end of day one. So I think that's really important. We don't want to rob them of their experience. And one of my favorite questions, I learned this from Dr. Fred and Elite. One of my favorite questions to ask at the end of day one is, what did you learn about your conditions today? And so it's a really strong, like bold question, like they may have come in with a low back pain or migraine or neck pain, and likely it's likely that the doctor showed them, their how their brain communicates with their organs through the spine, and it's likely that they now have come out with an understanding that this could be causing several conditions and might not just be a little pinched nerve. So I think asking that question, what I love about it is it gives them the opportunity to process it and come up with their answer. Oh, I learned this, or this happened. I learned I have more problems than I thought, or I have a lot going on, or the it looks like I have 12 health conditions. Is that normal? And if they ask something like that, is that normal? Or I have all this going on, I would even then again be like, what do you think? And put that back, let them have their experience at that end of day one. And it's tempting to be really comforting, be like, don't worry, we help people all the time, but we also don't want them, being a one and done, like getting dressed and feeling better, leaving, but they still have the core problem, you know? So letting them know, like, we do help a lot of people with this. Hopefully we can help you too at this point. Letting them know that we're going to help them not just get out of pain, but stay out of pain, and they'll be able to do that by, maintaining, with consistent visits. And that's really what we specialize in here is wellness. And so another thing that you just made me think of is, people might be like, do I really have to come in again? Or I just want to come in when I have pain, or do I have to come in, 3 times a week or whatever, or this is hard, or this is expensive, any objections you get like that, it's great to just be like straight up and honor with where they're at. So that's where I would say, you're right, it is hard, or you're right, this is a big commitment, but our patients here have found this is an investment that reaps a lifetime of benefits, not just for you, but your whole family, not just for you, but everyone in your life. Right. And so, yeah. Anyway, so you got me excited on that topic, Damien.
Yeah, that was, it's kind of counterintuitive, right? To have them, to not like come for them, right? Because like as humans, we just want to like say sorry or go over and just connect and make them feel better. But that's really, it seems to me like, correct me if I'm wrong, that it's kind of like counterintuitive where if you do go and like kind of help them through, then they're going to be less likely to take action because they feel better, right? And you have to let them sit in the pain a little bit in order to get them to take action that they need to get out of that pain, right? Because once they've realized that, like you said, that pinched nerve is maybe a little bit more and it's affecting all these other parts of their body, then they really need to take action, and comforting them isn't going to help, even though it's uncomfortable for us to just sit there and watch that.
Absolutely, 100%. Letting them have their experience is going to be powerful, and it is, I mean, the fact is, like, it is restricting nerve flow to your vital organs. Like, that's what a misalignment is. That's what a subluxation is. So if someone has, back pain or something going on, or even bad posture, their organs aren't getting the energy they need, and I like to think of it as like, how do people die? Usually an organ is failing, right? Diseased. So if we can create a world where more people are getting the optimal nerve flow from their brain to their organs, like, that's eliminating so many problems, and giving them such quality of life. And as soon as that switches within the person, like, they're not only going to be a patient for life, but they're going to be an advocate, a chiropractic advocate. They're going to be bringing people in, lining people up. Like, once you understand that, game over. Once I understood that, I dedicated my life to getting people under chiropractic care. You've really done the same, right? And we see this all the time.
Yeah. It's so important. So after then, last topic I wanted to touch on is just after people have signed up for care and they're coming in regularly, is there anything that we should be communicating as chiropractic team members as they come in on a week-to-week basis? What should we be saying to them? Is there any way we should maybe like adjust our communication so they continue to get it and it's continue, like, that realize how important it is?
Definitely. Yeah. The communication on the daily visit is so important. I teach a whole course on this, and I have like one-liner Wednesdays on Instagram where we release powerful chiropractic one-liners that you can use to continue to educate and inspire people on chiropractic. One thing I will say is, like, celebrate every single win. So anytime they report to any team member, any improvement, like having less headaches, or they're not as bad, or my low back pain's a little bit better, I think I'm breathing better. Is that possible? Like, anyway, you're going to celebrate it big time with them, and let them know, this is incredible. Before you came in, did you even know that chiropractic was going to help you breathe better? Would you have ever imagined living a life without an inhaler? And now you are. Who do you know that is experiencing symptoms that we might be able to help them with? And they might not have any idea chiropractic would help. So always putting the responsibility back on them to help more people with this. Like, who do they know? People have a bucket list, or I mean, a big giant list of people that they know that need this. It's not a bucket list yet, but it's going to become a bucket list with your great communication. Yeah, so asking that, asking powerful questions, like instead of like, how are you or how are you feeling? I would say, what's the best thing you've done for your health this week? What's the top improvement you've gotten since being under care? What freedom are you experiencing now living an unsubluxated life versus how you felt before? How is your improved health benefiting your family? How is your improved health benefiting your work performance? How is your improved health benefiting your athletic performance? So know what's important to them and then frame your questions accordingly. Every time you come in here, your body's getting healthier. Every time you come in here, your body's going from a state of disease to a state of health. Every time you come in here, you're boosting your immune system for the week. So these things are so important in our communication. It's not like the hospital where they say, which smiley face are you today? Have you seen those charts? Like, how are you feeling? Please don't ask them how they're feeling.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? How are you improving? If you're getting shitty, if you're getting shitty
answers, it reminds me of
asking shitty questions.
Right. When I like, when we were kids, like we'd all probably experienced this, or your own kids, like if you ask that question, they're just gonna be like, good, and
the teenagers.
Same thing with the teenagers, so yeah, those empowering questions, like that is powerful because it makes them think and like, okay, what actually, like what has improved, and it makes them realize that chiropractic is really that powerful.
There's so much research on this now too, like the state of healing, and getting into that positive healing mindset before receiving the adjustment, before receiving the treatment. So they're walking in like their energy's already boosting, their body's ready to heal, versus if they're walking in and they're like, hump, 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 and then they go to the adjustment table like, this hurts, I don't know if this is working, blah, blah, blah. Like they're not going to get as good of an adjustment and as much healing. But when they come in and they're like, I'm here to heal, I'm here to get well, and the front desk has shifted that mindset, they're going to be more physically relaxed. So they're going to get a deeper adjustment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. And that reminds me of too, like I've heard the state of mind, there's research out there that like, even for eating, the state of mind that you're in when you're eating food, like even that has an effect on how well you're able to digest it. So I can completely see how being more relaxed, it also helps you get a better adjustment and be more deeply,
Definitely. I read something that said most people don't believe that they deserve to be healthy. This is a study that was done in America, and I thought that was really interesting. Like at the core, at the depths, they don't believe they deserve to be healthy, which kind of makes sense if you think of like all the marketing and everything that we're completely drowning in, constantly saying that people are going to be sick and dying and you need this medication and that. Like it makes sense that would affect us at a belief system level. So like knowing that when they come into their office, this is the opportunity to help them shift that and believe they deserve to be healthy. Even saying that, like, you deserve to be healthy, you deserve this. Your family deserves to have a healthy mom. Wouldn't you agree? People will do more for other people than they'll do for themselves too. So connecting their health and their care there to their loved ones and to other people and benefiting other people's lives, that's going to help create a wellness patient that stays for life.
Yeah, totally. That's amazing. So just to recap, I think my biggest takeaway is just being on mission and like on purpose, where getting your team bought in and understanding how important chiropractic really is. It's not just about pain. It's about really just allowing people to live fully, and like to unleash their innate potential. And if you can get your team bought in on that principle, then I think the rest really just comes from that. If they're completely bought in, it's just human nature uh, to want to ask for referrals because you know how much it's going to help other people as well, and not just the person who's being helped. So, um,
So
yeah, I
true.
mean that's my biggest takeaway, and honestly, like that, I think it would have the biggest impact on everything that's going on in the practice. So, Hailey, where can the chiropractors who are listening now, where can they find you if they're interested in maybe learning more, maybe having you even work with their team to get them on purpose? Where can they find you online?
Thank you. We're on Facebook, Instagram. My company's Inspired Practice Solutions. My name is Hailey Jules, and I'd love to help. Damien, I can send you a link for anybody that wants to connect. The two ways that I help doctors the most are through two experiences that I create for your teams. The first is the Chiropractic Assistant Mastermind. And what this is I will run your team trainings for you. So I run a team training every single week where team members call in from all around the world. Some are live, some do the rewatch. We train, and then there's an open Q&A. So really consistency is such key. Like if you want a team that consistently performs at their peak level and consistently grows the practice, we've got to give them the consistent opportunity for growth and the consistent training. So that's really what I help you with, help maintain. The second thing that I do, and actually typically people will do this first before the mastermind, is I run fully immersive experiences where I take 10 teams through an experience, usually over a weekend. It ranges from 10 to 15 hours, intensive in 2 days. And I take them through an experience where we train on everything chiropractic assistant tip to tail, from that first call, actually from before they even walk in the office, getting in the right healing state, all the way to lifetime patients. And they get to learn it all in one immersive experience. They're going to massively raise their confidence, their conviction, their ability to run and grow your practice, create patients that stay, pay, and refer. We've consistently gotten extraordinary results over the last 7 years with practices that have attended the immersion experience. So I'd love to open up that opportunity for your audience too. They can chat with me, see if it's a good fit for them and would be beneficial. And I'd love to help.
Awesome. Yeah, and the practices that we work with that also work with Hailey, we've seen have just it's crazy the difference in their ability to convert patients to chiropractic and get them bought into what chiropractic really is. So I highly recommend doing either the immersive experience Hailey mentioned. That sounds like a good place to start, as well as that mastermind. It's a great way to get your chiropractic assistants and your team bought in and training consistently. So we'll put the link somewhere around this video here. Click on it if you're interested, and yeah, we will see you in the next episode here of Contente Podcast. Thanks, Hailey.
Thanks for having me.